we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.
Okay, so I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So let's try this again. So Genesis 44, again, I thought that Joseph would have revealed himself, but he actually reveals himself in Genesis 45. And I'm so sorry, but I've been filming in natural light lately, so if the light goes in and out, that's why. I think Joseph tried to do something where he wanted to protect Benjamin, and I'll explain. So verses 1 through 2, Joseph instructed his steward to fill his brother's sacks with food and to give them back their silver because they were going to go back to Canaan, to their dad. And Joseph told his steward to put his silver cup in Benjamin's sack. So this is Joseph's plan. Then verses 3 through 5, when the boys had started going back, it said that they weren't that far away. So they had just started traveling away from Egypt. And Joseph told his steward, run after them and find Joseph's silver cup with Benjamin. So Joseph had a plan. He wanted to set the brothers up. He, told his steward, go back, pretend that, Benjamin stole, or just pretend that one of them took my silver cup. But Joseph knew all along that he wanted it to be found with Benjamin. Verses 6 through 13. So when the steward went back, so the brothers, when the steward said, open your bags, let me see if you took, my master's cup. He was so nice to you and you guys stole from him. So the steward, he's putting on a really good show here. And the brothers got mad and they said, why would we steal? He was very kind to us. We would not steal from him. Look at our stuff. If any of us is found to have the silver cup, then you can take him back as a slave. And I'm sorry, that man will die and the rest of us will be slaves. And so the steward found the cup with Benjamin and they tore their clothes in verse 12. And the tearing of clothes, what I've realized, when someone is very anguished and deeply saddened, they tore their clothes. And I just wrote that that's a sign of grief. And then all of them returned to Egypt with the steward. So they're probably like, what in the world is going on? They were probably shocked, not understanding like what is happening, how that got there. The boys seem to be different from what Joseph last remembered and what they did to Joseph. They didn't steal anything and they were telling the truth. It's really hard when you're stuck in a place where you're telling the truth and still, things that are happening to you that are unjustifiable. Verses 14 through 17, Joseph pretended to not know what happened. So he pretended that he didn't, purposely place that cup there. He stated that Benjamin was to stay and the rest to return. So I'm guessing maybe Joseph was thinking, I need to get Benjamin away from them before they sell him into slavery. Who knows what will happen to him? I think that Benjamin just did not trust his brothers, really, at the end of the day. I think he was trying to think of a way to get Benjamin to stay with him without revealing who he was, which I'm not really sure why. And verses 18 through 33. So Judah pleads, he explains, he said, I cannot return without Benjamin. My father will die. And it's funny because it was Judah's idea to sell Joseph into slavery. And now he's begging Joseph to take the place of Benjamin and serve Joseph for something that he didn't even do. So that just shows a character shift with these boys. They probably had time to think about what they've done to Joseph. And it doesn't seem as if they are the same boys that were, back in the earliest chapters of Genesis. Because, in the past, they probably wouldn't have cared. They didn't care how they hurt their father. They told their dad that, well, Joseph died. Here's his robe, his colorful robe that you gave him. And they lied by putting, an animal's blood on it to say that Joseph died. Doesn't sound like their dad bought that story 100%, but they didn't really care how they hurt their father. They didn't care who they hurt. And now it's a different story. Now things are different. And it's really nice to see that they've changed, at least Judah. And so Judah is stepping up to the plate and he, doesn't want anything to happen to Benjamin. He doesn't want anything to happen to his dad. And here he's still thinking that Benjamin is in the wrong for stealing. And he still wanted to take the place of Benjamin just so that his dad would not have to go through that grief and anguish. And so I think that's very commendable. But yeah, that's where the story ends. And I was just kind of like, what's going on next? It was a cliffhanger. So I'm really excited to read Genesis 45. As always, you guys have the most thoughtful insight. I love reading it. I listen to my notes, what you guys say, and you guys have such thoughtful discussion, and even with each other. I love reading your comments. So please let me know what you thought. Please subscribe. I make a new Bible study video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll study the Bible with you again. Bye.
All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right.